Let me talk to you about three specific issues, and then we'll open it up for some questions. First is the committee system. This was focused on in the Brennan Center report, and that is the nature of committees in the state legislature. The state Senate has approximately 35 standing committees. Those committees all have a chair, they all have a staff, they all have a specific generic area in which they're supposed to have expertise: health, insurance, economic development, finance. There's a rules committee, a general rules committee. But the interesting thing about it is that a very small percentage of the actual bills that become law are considered, debated, or the subject of hearings in committees. In the New York State legislature, in the state Senate, less than 1% of the bills are actually considered by committees, the subject of public hearings, and the subject of input. The way the bills now pass is that they're held in something called the Rules Committee, which deliberates on the bills quickly, but all those decisions are made behind closed doors, usually by the members of the majority conference, without public input, without public hearings. So the committee system has virtually ceased to work. Another indicia of why the committee system doesn't work is because they don't hire their own staff. The committee chair doesn't have the power to hire their staff. The staff is hired by the central leadership in Albany. So the Senate leader, the Senate majority leader, whether it's Joe Bruno or the most current majority leader, Dean Skelos, they control the agenda and the flow in the committees. It's all done from the top down. And the danger that that poses is that when those bills are considered, and they're considered in the back rooms, the special interests in New York have even greater power outside the public eye. They get an opportunity to take, through lobbyists and others, into the back room and discuss the content of those bills that are not considered by committees, that are not part of the open process. It's one of the reasons why I think the bills that are produced are often done quickly, done without substantial deliberation, and we end up with a poorer result. The other thing that's interesting about it is that committees in New York, in the state Senate, have the right to issue reports. In other words, to look at a complex subject like the availability of health care and issue a legislative report on the availability of health insurance for individuals in New York. In the years that I was there, I can't remember a single report being issued by a committee. I believe in the last 6 years since I left, there hasn't been a single one. I can't find evidence of it. So the committees aren't even studying the complicated issues of the day, whether it's the availability of housing, whether it's the availability of health insurance, whether it's economic development, or improvements in our transportation infrastructure. All of those things, critically important for the future of this state, have not been the subject of reports from committees. The committee system has virtually stopped functioning. And the reason for that is because the three-men-in-a-room model now controls where the legislature goes. It's done in the meeting room of the majority leader or the speaker of the assembly or the governor. Those are the only three people who get the real input on the bills. I think it's frankly a disgrace. I think it's something that the Brennan Commission report specifically addresses and talks about the need to create independent committees, to allow the chairman to hire the staff, to require that the committees hold public hearings on legislation before it's passed, to require them to advance the bills in a timely manner so that the public knows what's coming before the last day of session. All of those things are recommended by the Brennan Commission.